Shalom Israel. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kadash, the born as the apostles, and those great Muslim teachings as truth. Peace and blessings to hope like to Israel and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in Hebrew, by Hashem is the name, and Yahushai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on the lesson, and today, going to be these uproars, these riots, these protests taking place, and ultimately the civil wars that are going to break out very, very soon. As you see, America is divided. You have people protesting and rioting and fighting amongst each other, which is a terrible sign for a kingdom, a nation, once your people is divided, man. Especially when they're trying to, overthrow the government and take up arms, which we're about to get in this video right here, where they're putting up a poll where people are voting to take up arms and try to, go against the government, to go against the government, which sounds like 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, which we get later on. But let's play this quick video. Don't want to drag us out, and continue. And you're also seeing tons of shootings that happen, especially on 4th of July, which, hey, we want you to stay away from it, man. Yahweh Shemashai is not with those pagan holidays, those heathen customs that we're not supposed to take part in. And look what happened. You've seen a ton of people die. People got shot up, but let's continue on with this lesson. And it's also why you see these devils trying to, orchestrating these shootings in order to get rid of the guns. But you're seeing people also getting angry at Roe v. Wade being overturned. So you're seeing the tensions are high already. And people are basically angry at the government and wanting to go against them. 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. Continue on. So you pretty much get the main point. People are making polls and voting to try to take up arms and go against the the government. Which, going back to what I was saying near the beginning of the lesson, this is a terrible sign for a kingdom once your own people is fighting amongst each other, and especially when they're trying to basically overthrow you, the people that are in authority, man. Which, going back to what I was saying earlier, also is why they're trying to get rid of the guns, trying to take away your Second Amendment right. Which you see many people protesting and fighting amongst each other over that. You have the people that are for the guns, people that are against it. You see people that are with Roe v. Wade being overturned, people that are against it. So it's showing these places crumbling, man. This place is literally on its last legs, man. This place is crumbling before our very need to slow down. But this place is crumbling before our very eyes. But the 2nd Ezra 15 and 15 through 17. It says, "For the sword and the destruction, Jaws 9, one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand." And what's the modern day sword? The gun. Are you seeing people are voting, which says 3 out of 10 Americans, I believe it was. 3 out of 10 Americans, voting to take up arms to go against the government. Which you see people disagreeing with, the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, and what they're trying to do with the guns. Which how Americans are with their guns, man. But let's continue on. Verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, the people that are in power, the mayors, the presidents, the people that are in authority. And the course of action shall stand in their power." So it sounds like a lot like civil war, which you get the word the definition for civil war, just for edification's sake. Because this is what we're on the brink of, like trying to find more words. But it's a war between citizens of the same country, and what we're seeing now, people are disagreeing with each other, protesting, fighting amongst each other, and this type of reaction that these devils want. So they'll be justified when they come down with the Great Wrath, when they implement martial law, when they shut this place down, man. But let's get verse 17. A man shall desire to go into his city and shall not be able. Go into these checkpoints that they're going to have, where you're going to need to have the MOTB. And also, especially when his place go back in lockdowns, when they declare martial law, this is especially why they're trying to take away the gun, so there's not much of a fight when they bring that hammer down, man. Order out of chaos. This is a form of their sorcery, man. But the 25th verse of Book of Luke, 21st chapter. There shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, is what we're seeing also. You're going back to Ecuador. There's also riots that are going over there because of the inflation, the gas prices, the food prices, man. So imagine what's coming to America, what you're seeing. This place already going downhill now. So imagine when things get added more onto the plate, Things are just going to continue to pile and pile on to where it's just going to crack. This place is going to crumble, which is already now. But there should be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. The planets aligning, the strawberry moons. This place is through, man. All these plagues and pestilence that the Lord has sent out upon this place, this devil's kingdom is coming to an end, man. Yahweh has shown us the times that we're in by the way these signs and these prophecies, man. And upon the earth distress nation with perplexity to see in the ways roaring. Let's get the 18th, like the 20th verse. And when these things begin to come to pass, and look up and lift your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh, showing you that we are almost out of here. We have the book of Isaiah, 19th chapter, and the 2nd verse, to go into how this is a terrible sign for a kingdom, a nation. Is that when your people are disregarding, basically authority, not listening to the people that are in power, fighting amongst each other, showing you that this devil is losing his kingdom, he's losing his power, man. Because Isaiah 19:2, it said, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And as you know, America is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Who are the modern day Egyptians? Esau, this whole white man. And I'll set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, which you are seeing now. The division, they're fighting amongst each other. The protests are taking place. You're starting to see a more wicked and perverse spirit being pushed, a more agitated spirit on these people, man. Getting angry at the government, getting angry at each other. This place is crumbling, man. Let's add more onto it. Matthew 12 through 25 through 26. And Yahushua knew their thoughts, which is Yahushua speaking, man. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Desolation basically going to destruction. Showing this kingdom is not going to last. And you still have people that have a false sense of reality that America is going to rebound and make a bounce back. That things are going to go back to normal. Things are going to go back to the way they were. This place will be even better than it was before. You're in for a rude awakening. So every kingdom dividing itself is brought to desolation. Are we not seeing uproars? Are we not seeing riots? Are we not seeing protests taking place literally almost on a day-to-day basis, man? Every city or house divided in itself shall not stand. This devil's kingdom is sinking down the drain. These people got to open their eyes, man. This place is through. Go back to Isaiah, the 30th chapter, the 1st through the 3rd verse. Going to the trust and shadow of Egypt shall be your shame and your confusion. So y'all that want to continue to put your faith and trust in these devils and rely upon them instead upon Yahweh Shem Shai, the one doing all these things, that putting the spirit on these devils to do these things, you're going to be sorely mistaken, man, because you're going to take a part in the judgment to come, man, which is what you don't want, man. Every city or house dividing itself shall not stand. As also scripture going to, it's better to put confidence in the Lord than in man. Going back to what I was saying, once again, you have many people that are putting their faith in these devils, thinking that they're going to help them, that they're going to protect you when all hell breaking loose. When they're coming down with when they're coming down with that great wrath, when they come kicking down your door, then you realize that these devils do not like you, man. These devils have you in their back pocket, just going to use you and throw you out when they're done with you, man. Verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? On his last legs, man, his kingdom is through. Mark 3:24. Let's get the King James. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Get NLT. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. And this place is on the brink of a civil war, man. Things are starting to rise. The tension is continuing to build up. You see many people disagreeing with the government's choices and the things that they are, or the laws that they're establishing and things that they're trying to push ultimately. Especially with the guns, how they're orchestrating these shootings. You have many people that are some celebrities and many people, talking about these shootings that are happening. And ultimately against it, which is going to cause a lot of people to get on board with it. And just many other things, man. And a lot of people are going to fight over that. But 2 Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. And near the middle of the lesson, going back to what I was saying, this devil's kingdom is crumbling, man. He's losing his power, and you're slowly starting to see a transitioning of power from one people to another, man. This devil is losing his kingdom. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Israel is up next, and they will be in power forever, man. The Israelites, man. Yahweh Shem Shai's kingdom. As Ecclesiastes 10:8 to add more onto it, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. And who got his kingdom? By deceit, by lies, through bloodshed, through rape, rob, and murder. This devil, man, Esau, man, his whole kingdom is built off of bloodshed, off of lies, slave labor. This devil is wicked, and he's going to be taken out very, very soon. We're just seeing his kingdom crumbling before our very eyes. It says the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And who is that being translated to? The Israelites. This who is the kingdom is being translated to. And you're slowly starting to see this devil losing his power. You see, he can't control his people as well as he used to. Can't sweep the rug. He can't sweep the things that he has done under the rug as he used to. Can't hide the things that he usually would like to, as with the chariots. Because before, it's a weather balloon, and everybody would believe him. But now he's not able to do those things. His kingdom's through. So I pretty much hit the main points. Make a quick lesson. Go to the sedition among men, the riots that are taking place, and ultimately the civil wars to come. Showing his kingdom is crumbling and that Babylon is through. So I'll probably leave this video in the description below if you want to go and see it for yourself. It's like if I kind of stumble on my words, kind of speaking too fast. But Lord, you're so edified. I do want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Mashah, Bashem Kakadash, Deborah and the apostles, and those who gave Muslim for teaching us this truth. Peace and blessings to all black Israel, and Shalom. See you next one.